is me, Mavis Meadows. Yay! It's a beautiful day in Thailand. Ah, look at the view. Look at the view. Very grateful to be here. Very, very, very grateful. Anyways, today we're headed to the gym to hit a glute and hamstring focused leg day. Yay! The gym that I'm currently going to in Chiang Mai called Pump Fitness has just added a whole new section for glutes. Last week I tried this like Smith machine type glute bridge machine. Very interesting. If you want to see me struggle to get in and out of that machine, the video's already posted. But today I'm hopefully the glute section is always pretty busy because it's new. But hopefully today the new glute hip thrust machine that's like cable loaded, it's open, so I'll try that variation. Again, if not, no big deal. I'll just go back to the one that was difficult for me to get in and out of and destroy my glutes on the hip thrust machine, because that's a very good staple of a hip hinge movement for any kind of glute growth. But yeah, we'll warm up with some cable kickbacks, we'll do some heavy glute bridges, yeah, and just destroy our glutes and hams. I'm thinking I want to add some hamstring focused RDLs, maybe with some elevate my toes to get a longer stretch on my hamstring. You'll see me do that. Don't worry. You'll see what I'm talking about when I actually get there. But yeah, I'm sweaty. I'm ready to work out. Yeah, let's get in there. Hopefully you trained hard today. Hopefully you moved your body in ways that made you happy. Yeah, I'll see you in there. Starting off with some glute focused kickbacks. Alright, some isolation glute kickbacks just to warm up the glutes. Again, we don't want our dominant glute exercises coming from these kind of isolation exercises. We want some heavy squatting pattern, we want some heavy hip hinge pattern, whether that be a glute bridge or an RDL, and then some sort of unilateral movement, any kind of lunge or Bulgarian split squat variation. That's what's going to help grow your glutes. This can be a precursor to those movements to warm up your glutes. Like I mentioned, the bodybuilding gym I'm at currently in Chiang Mai just added some new glute equipment, so I'm trying all those out again today. If you didn't catch the last video where I tried most of the new gym equipment, go check that out. That's already posted. But today I'm trying a new glute bridge variation. It's a cable glute bridge. I've never tried this before. Again, I've seen these all on bunch of bodybuilders social media platforms, but it's never been in any commercial gyms in Canada. But now at this bodybuilding gym in Chiang Mai, I gotta try all this fun new equipment. This has reinvigorated and reignited the passion, the love, desire for bodybuilding. Not that it ever dwindled, but it is just so fun to be able to be creative again with your movement patterns, trying out new machines, and feeling a burn in different areas in different ways that I didn't necessarily used to feel before getting super repetitive at my home gym in Canada. This has been a real shake-up, real nice, and I'm here for the gains. I'm here for trying something new and growing. As a little reflection today, bodybuilding has taught me a lot. In the ways of being patient, not only in physique goals, but other goals in my life as well. Knowing that this is not a sprint kind of sport, this is a marathon kind of sport. Knowing that life is not a sprint either, it is a marathon of days, actionable habits every single day that kind of add up to a more grand scheme of things that can contribute to your goals later on. Knowing that a dominant physique is not built within 1 week, 1 month, or 1 year. Knowing that it takes time and just being patient and sitting in the patience of the time that it takes and having fun while doing it, I think, is being super important, not only in bodybuilding though, but also in other goals. Having to take these little actionable steps every single day to reach them. Knowing that you're not going to achieve your goals overnight, you're not going to achieve them in a week, you're not going to achieve them in a month, and maybe not even a year, but building those habits that are going to get me to the person I want to be, to have the life I want to live, those habits every single day are going to add up over time. Just knowing that I need to be patient, like in the gym, I need to be patient with my goals outside of the gym as well. Having the trust, having the faith that knowing what I'm doing will work, and yeah, just like having faith in this undeniable, maybe you want to call it delusion, but undeniable faith that knowing what I'm doing will work out for me. I'm on the right path, and everything is where it's supposed to be, and I'm happy with that. Anyways, check out this cool new, like, I don't even know what you call this, like hyperextension, kind of hip hinge movement. I've never seen this before. Really cool. Got a good burn. Was kind of difficult trying to get into this, but once I did, wow, this was fun. This is real fun. Again, these isolation movements are good for targeting certain parts of your glutes, but our main bulk of the movement, a main bulk of glute growth is coming from those three that I mentioned at the beginning. Some sort of squatting pattern, some sort of hip hinge pattern, and then a unilateral movement. Anyways, you'll see those coming up, and then I'll literally point out where your glute growth is coming from in the workouts to follow. But I hopped on this machine because the cable hip thrust machine that I want to use was being used at the moment, so I just thought might as well get on a new machine I never tried before, and it was fun. Alrighty, here we go. The new hip thrust cable machine, whatever you want to call this. This was a little bit difficult to get into at first, and kind of you'll see me struggling with foot placement, feeling where the pad is supposed to sit on my hips was a little tricky at first, and then you kind of see me getting up into the full hyper extension at the top, and then kind of adjusting from there. And that kind of worked in what I did going forward, and if this works for you, try it out next time as well. But this is my hip hinge movement for the day. Like I mentioned, this is a great movement, whether that be any kind of hip thrust variation or an RDL variation for your hip hinging movement for glute growth. Today, like I said, I'm choosing the new cable hip thrust machine, and it felt great. I do think I need to practice a little bit more, getting the right position, and then kind of adding and progressively overloading going forward. Again, progressively overloading can either mean adding more weight or adding more reps. I recommend adding more weight before you start adding more reps, but that is another conversation for another day. I did kind of lighter just because I wanted to figure out how to get in and out of the machine properly, and if I had to bail at any point, I was safely able to do so. But I did end up going heavy near the end of these sets, but could have definitely pushed the weight a little bit more. Again, this is a new machine. I was just trying it out. I am really looking back at these photos. I need to remember where I'm placing my feet for next time, just so I can get a better driving motion there. Anyways, enjoy these little clips of me trying to struggle to get in and out of this machine. It did feel good not having to load the bar like 1,000 pounds on. Okay, I don't actually hip thrust 1,000 pounds, but having to plate load a barbell every single time or a Smith machine is kind of annoying. So this was really efficient. It cut down a lot of time during my workout. Again, you do not need these fancy machines to get a good lift in. Again, this is my first time ever trying this machine, but it was great and efficient to not have to load a barbell. Alrighty, moving on to the hamstring portion of this glute and hamstring day. Yes, we're getting to it. Okay, we're going through lying hamstring curls, getting the longest stretch in our hamstring here and really squeezing on the way up. A cue I really like for this is driving my hips down into the pad, keeping my hips down. As you're squeezing up, we don't want our hips to rise off of that pad. And now to the squatting pattern for our glute growth. All right, I'm doing a pitch shark machine sumo squats. Again, you can do this with a barbell on your back. You can do this with a Smith machine. You can do this goblet squat. You can do this. Any variation is a squatting movement is going to help grow our glutes. Also, the pitch shark, I don't know if I was actually doing it correct up until today. Today I tried a slightly different foot pattern because the Instagram of this gym posted some guy doing it, and I was like, oh wow, he looks like he's getting a really great glute stretch. And I looked at where he placed his feet and where he placed the middle part where the weight is attached. You can see at the bottom, you can either attach it closer or farther away from you. I think I was attaching it way too far in front of me, thinking that the glute, like having the weight in front of me, was going to drive more of the glute growth on the back side of me, like my posterior chain, but that was not the case. You need to have it underneath you, a wider stance, like you would be doing a sumo squat outside of this pitch shark machine, and then go like depth. I saw his video, I was like, wow, he's getting real depth. So I tried it again, and this was astronomically better. So this is your sign that if you're trying a movement and you don't necessarily feel it quite yet, don't write it off. I hadn't written this off. I just thought, I was like, okay, well, it's not, I don't feel the greatest. But today, in this kind of stance, and where I place the weight, like underneath me on the belt, wow. Anyways, do not write stuff off. Just try it again. Keep revising it. Research how to do it properly. Watch some videos. I'm telling you, this was a game changer. And now, another hamstring focused movement. So, to set this up, you're going to need a squat rack or some sort of barbell to hold right at your hip line. And then for these, I actually saw somebody on the Renaissance Periodization channel elevate their toes to get a larger stretch on your hamstring when doing these hamstring focus hyper extensions. Wow. Again, I'm super grateful that my gym has these kind of risers or angled risers that I was able to put under my feet, and this was a great stretch. Highly recommend trying out this variation, and then also putting the risers underneath your feet for an added stretch. This was great. And finally, ending off this killer workout with these standing abductions. I tried this last week, and if you saw my video, you saw the owner of the gym come over and critique my form, and thankfully he did. Like, I'm very open to criticism, very open to feedback. Thank you so much. Big round of applause for him. And now you see me checking that I'm 90 degrees first before I actually start the adduction. Yes, this burns my quads more than I thought it should, but again, that's not going to stop me from doing the movement. Just because it's hard, just because it hurts, doesn't mean I'm going to stop doing it, and maybe I'm still not doing it right, but I'm going to continue to try it, continue to work on myself, and continue to figure out how to do this movement properly. And the pump literally speaks for itself. I'm very happy with the shape. I walked through some of the quarter turns here, and this is looking very decent for where I'm at in my bodybuilding stage, where I'm at like in how many, I think I'm like almost 2 years, just below 2 years into training bodybuilding style, and I'm very happy with how this is looking. Yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. Just enjoy the next couple minutes of me posing and looking freaky. I'll see you guys again next time.